right, you guys. So I have been using Vihemp ever since they sent me that very discreet box in the mail. When I got my box, I was like, "What is this? What have I ordered now? This
I
is
thought
not."
I got a present from somebody. It was a little message.
I
said,
knew I did, and I was a little nervous. But when I opened it up, it was just like, ah, it was just like golden rays, sunshine rays, just poking out of the box. There were sample packs of the High on Love, which I have tried. I love. It's aphrodisiacs mixed with THC, CBD. It's like a euphoric experience.
One thing that I love about all of the different Via Hemp types is that it doesn't, sometimes I've noticed with like different gummies that I've tried, I get like this moment of like sadness. It's really weird. Like I think about, I have all these dark thoughts, and I've noticed that with this brand, I don't have that with any of the flavors. And that's what's refreshing to me. So if you guys are interested in trying this out, or just, switching up where you get your gummies from, make sure you guys head on over to viahemp.com and use the code CockTales, CockTales, to receive 15% off and get one free sample on any order.
Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man, it's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to CockTales, dirty discussions with Kiki and Medinah Monroe. Yeah.
Today's cocktail is called the Blind Date. The ingredients you need are 50 milliliters of sloe gin, 25 milliliters of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of sugar syrup, ice, sparkling water, lemon slices, fresh or frozen blackberries. And here's how you're going to make it. You're going to pour the gin, the lemon juice, and the sugar syrup into a cocktail shaker, fill it up with ice cubes, shake well until the outside of the shaker feels cold, then strain into a tall glass filled with more ice. Top up with the sparkling water and stir gently. Garnish with a lemon slice and a blackberry, and enjoy.
Welcome back to CockTales Dirty Discussions, you guys.
Hey, y'all.
Another week with us. I hope that you're ready for a great episode ahead. How have you been, Medinah?
I've been doing really well. My workout routine kind of fell off the past while, and and I finally got it back on track. I got this journal called The Inner Guide, and they give you like prompts and like ways to like create routines for yourself, and it has really been helping. How you been?
I am just trying to make it without falling and without crying. That's all I've been doing. So I think today, hopefully the rest of the day will be better. We do have a guest today, you guys. But before we get to her, I also wanted to say thank you to everybody who came out to the tour, to the Last Call tour. At this point, it's over. We really enjoyed it. It was nice to be able to connect with so many different people in a couple of new cities. We had never been to St. Louis before, so that
Hopefully it was great.
Right.
We're re-recording.
Yeah.
Super, super, super huge shout out to the people that attended, but also the sponsors. Sponsors help the shows go round. So shout out to Blush, shout out to Brown Sugar Babe, Audio Guest Book.
Yeah, Snappy Photo Booths. All of the photo booths in all of the different cities that we had. Thank you to all of the people who came to do photos, like actually getting photos of us at the show, not the photo booths, but in the videos. Like we had some good people this year. So it was really good meeting all of you guys, being in some new venues, visiting a few new cities, connecting with different people. It was just really good, and we're really appreciative. So I wanted to make sure we said that.
Shout out to the performers too.
Oh yes, the Sweet Spot.
Yeah, shout out to the Sweet Spot. I know they have a couple different things coming up. Make sure you guys check them out at the Sweet Spot Nation. Also, the other kink performers that we had perform when we weren't teamed up with the Sweet Spot, they were phenomenal. Kink performers, Black kink performers, might I add. Shout out to all of you, especially if it was a last minute booking. We appreciate you for showing up and showing the fuck out.
And the comedians and our DJ, Story King Brand, he was with us the whole tour. So that was nice to not have to regroup with different people every time. It was really good.
And the friends who worked merch tables and helped us out each and every step along the way. Speaking of merch, if you would like to buy one of our tour shirts or the game, I'm curious to know, go to I'mCuriousToKnow.com and check it out.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. So this week we have a guest with us
This week
today.
we have a very special guest. Her name is Kamille, and I want to just give a background story before we dive into her business. So a few episodes ago, I had said, I really feel like I've been saying this. Like
You said it a lot.
Yeah, like I've been wanting to have a deaf person on to talk about their dating experience, also a blind person on to talk about their dating experiences. On this show, we talk about everything dating and sex, and everybody has done it, did it, or is trying to do it. And so it's really cool to hear different perspectives of people who have to date differently. If that's even a thing, I could be wrong. She might not be dating differently, but she hit us up. She sent an email. She listens to the show. I hopped on a call with her, and I was like, wow, the conversation is there. She's like, I'm blind, bitch. I was like, okay. And it was so funny because when I was talking to you on the phone, me and my boyfriend were working out, and we get off the phone, and I was like, what if she's not really blind and she's lying and like we all get here? And she just like, I just wanted to come on the show.
I just show up.
Right? And you were trying to act blind, and then you're like, I like your shirt, Kiki. And we're like, wait a minute.
How you know what I got on?
Super cute.
So, Kamille, say hi to our listeners.
Hi, listeners.
We're so happy to have you.
Yes.
Before we dive into your business, we're going to play I'm Curious to Know.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. You got one, Kiki? You want me to go
You
first?
go first.
I'll go first.
Oh, gosh.
All right, Kamille, I'm curious to know, what do you consider cheating?
Ooh, what do I consider cheating? I consider cheating probably if you're having an emotional affair with somebody. If y'all are texting back and forth all the time, like, these little pictures and memes and everything like that. How do I know? Oh, trust me, I know.
Because we got questions.
Right. And I don't, the whole work wife, work husband situation. Don't be coming home talking about your work wife and work husband. Because I'm be like, wait, what's really going on?
Yeah.
So for me, I consider anything that, those kind of racy conversations to me, that is cheating. Because why are you having those conversations with her? You can be having them with me.
Right. What y'all doing? What y'all talking about?
Right.
Exactly. Okay, I would like to know, what's your love language?
Oh, my love language is acts of service and quality time. I love a man who is thoughtful, who can kind of anticipate what it is that I need before I tell him what I need. And I love spending time together, even if it's just Netflix and chill or go to a concert because I love music. So let's just spend some good quality time together. We can be doing anything or nothing at all. I'm good with that.
What's the most thoughtful thing somebody has ever done that would fall into acts of service?
Let's see. So I went on a date one time, and the guy knew that I was blind, and I thought it was really cool because it was actually our first date. And without me even having to prompt him or tell him, he was telling me where things were. Like, okay, the salt shaker is on your left. The server just put your drink down. It's on your right. Here's your fork. Like, he was literally just kind of describing everything, and I didn't even have to tell him. That's that intuition I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Somebody was thoughtful.
Pay attention.
I can really appreciate somebody who truly pays attention. It's really important for me.
Okay, I'm curious to know, and this might be a wild question, but I gotta ask.
I know where I am.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Ooh, who is my celebrity crush? Oh my gosh, I'll be honest with you. I don't really have one at the current moment because I just don't. At this current moment, I don't really have anybody who I have a celebrity crush. Now, back in the day when I was a little bit younger, my celebrity crush used to be LL, just because, everybody would describe him to me, and I'm like, ooh, nice
That
and
sounds
tall,
good.
nice voice. You know what I'm saying? I used to like that little New York swaggy, that Brooklyn swaggy. Yes, I loved all of that. So he used to be my celebrity crush a while back. But right now, I really don't have one currently.
He's still looking good too.
Does he? And he's like 50-something.
He hasn't aged at all.
He just had a performance at the BT Hip Hop Awards, and he did like a big set by himself. And you could tell he had been practicing. He had been doing his vocal training and all of that. I was like, all right,
okay, LL.
Okay, last one. I'm curious to know, how important is sex in a relationship to you?
Very.
Period.
Yes, that's it. That's the post. Like, I mean, it's extremely important for me. I'm very sensual, sexual. So I gotta have it. If we're gonna be together, I mean, if you're just gonna be my roommate, that's cool. Pay half the rent, all the rent. I don't know. But if we're going to be sleeping in the same bed together, we need to be doing some
Bumping and
things.
grinding.
Yes.
I feel you, girl.
Okay, so that's it for I'm Curious to Know. If you guys want to purchase I'm Curious to Know, head to I'mCuriousToKnow.com and purchase yours today. We're going to move on to weird sex, and then we're going to get back to asking more questions and getting in our business.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. A man is absolutely not necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
So, this week's weird sex story. This man, speaking of sex, like we always do, this man was drunk somewhere in the UK, and he got arrested because he decided that he was going to get undressed in the parking lot outside of a motel and try to fuck a pile of leaves.
Excuse me?
Yes, and he got arrested and he had to stay in jail for 8 weeks. I mean, it's not the leaves, but it was like the nudity and public intoxication and all of that. Nobody bailed him out, and he was in jail for 8 weeks. And this isn't the first time he's done it. I just want to know, how drunk do you have to be to think that you should be fucking a pile of leaves? And what does that really do for your dick? Just like the dude a couple of weeks ago who was trying to fuck the tree. Like, what does that do for your
if the
dick?
leaves were like, did he think it was was it in the shape? Was the way it was laying, was it a plump?
Well, he had fell through
A
the
plump
bushes to
leaf?
get in the leaves. I don't know. It's just like, what?
Is going on with the
I would love to know, but I don't.
people?
It was
That
like those
is
dry,
wild.
brittle autumn leaves, because that cannot be comfortable.
I feel like none of it would, because
Like
it's like
none
you
of it would
fall
be.
through some bushes. They get
Yeah.
him emerging from the bushes. He done ran through. It's just like you're in the woods or you're outside of the parking lot and you're in the hedges. They are trying to decorate their property. You fucking up all the landscaping because you're literally trying to fuck something.
That's
Just wild.
That is
Yeah. But
crazy.
y'all keep sending me the weird sex stories. I appreciate it. You can DM them to me or send them to weirdsex@cocktailspod.com. Okay.
All right,
Now
Kamille.
back to Kamille.
Okay.
Okay, so you were born blind.
Yes, I was.
You have never. What does it look like to you? Like looking, like
Okay, so I can see light and dark. So it is very bright in here. There's all kinds of cameras and going on. When I first walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, it's really bright in here. So I can tell the difference between day and night. So, and fun fact, not everybody who's blind lives in the dark. Only 10% of people who are blind see total darkness. So for me, it is light and dark. There's no shadows. I can't see colors because people are like, so you can't see colors? No, I can't. And they're asking me, how can you see light how can you see light and can't see colors? I don't know. Don't ask me. It's just what I see. So I used to always turn lights on. I still do. I turn lights on when I walk into the room because I don't want it to be totally dark. And if I ever lost my light perception, that's what it's called, I would actually be really sad because I love seeing sunshine. It makes me happy.
Do you remember the conversation like your parents had with you when you were a kid about like you being blind? Is that a thing?
Not really that I know of. Like my mom didn't sit me down and say, Kamille, you're blind, girl. So you go have to. It was just kind of a thing. Like that was the cool thing about it. Like when I didn't, my mom really didn't know that I was blind until I was about 6 months old.
How did she figure it out?
Well, she always knew. A mother's intuition will never lead her astray. She always knew that there was something going on with my eyes. And of course, the doctors kind of brushed her off and they were just like, she just got lazy eyes and all that. And my mom was like, her eyes ain't that lazy. So about 6 months, when I was about 6 months old, she took me to see another doctor and get a second opinion. And that's when they told her about my eye condition. And they were like, your daughter is going to be blind, or she is blind. And I asked my mom, when we talked about it, I said, Mama, how did you feel when you found that out? And she was just like, well, at first I was sad, but then she said, but I realized that you're going to have to learn how to live. So I'm going to have to live and teach you how to live. And that's exactly what she did. And she did not treat me like I was made out of glass. I went outside, I played, I got dirty. I had the same chores as my sister and brother. So I had to wash dishes too. So it was like, girl, you blind, but you're no different from anybody else. And my mom just, she adapted things for me. And she also told me she just kind of followed my sister and brother's lead as well, because kids, they just want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And are your siblings older or younger than you?
My siblings are older than me, so I'm the baby.
And shout out to your sister for bringing you here. And actually, she's the one who put you on the CockTales.
She is the one to put me on the CockTales.
Well, thank you, sister.
She's the reason I'm here today.
Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram.
Now, how does that work?
Well, so I don't post a whole lot because Instagram is mainly pictures, and they've come a long way now. They have a couple of AI features that describe a lot of the pictures. But as far as posting and things, I kind of use a bit of a cheat code. I kind of go on Facebook, which now people call the old folks bulletin board. But for me, I do it because there's a cross-posting setting. And so you can post on Facebook, and if you have that turned on, it'll automatically post to Instagram. So that's how I post all my cute pics on Instagram. I post them on Facebook because they're going to automatically go on Instagram. So I do post a little bit more now that I can do that.
And then like when you are, because we were talking, and I was like, yeah, Kamille emailed us. I forwarded Medinah the email. I was like, she put her phone number in there. And so we were just wondering, like, are you using talk to text or like little things like that that we would probably take for granted? How are you doing all of these tasks?
Well, I use an iPhone.
Okay.
And every Apple product has an accessibility section. But if you don't know that, if you don't need it, you don't know it's there. So there is a screen reading software on there called VoiceOver. And that's how I am able to do everything on my phone. That's how I post on social media. That's how I send y'all the emails. That's how I slide into my DMs and slide into other people's DMs.
So you'll be like, hey Siri, can you open up my Instagram and slide into Mike So Sexy's DMs for me? Like, is that how it works?
No, actually, it literally.
Not my serious
No,
talking.
you're
That's what she
fine.
always does.
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's okay. So no, I could talk to Siri, not that specific, but I actually use a series of gestures. Like when I turn on VoiceOver, I should have brought my phone in here just so y'all could see it. But when I turn on VoiceOver, I use certain gestures called swiping. So I'll swipe through, like, swipe left, swipe right on Tinder, but I swipe through, and then when I want to click on something, I have to double tap on it, and it will open it up. I didn't even think to bring my phone, y'all, but all
we'll
good.
see it.
You're going to see it when we finish.
Yeah.
So
But,
are you on any dating apps?
I am, girl.
And it's still a swipe left, swipe right.
Yes.
Does it describe what they look like to you?
Well, actually, no. I have Be My Eyes as in my sister and my best friend.
So they'll describe.
They
everything.
do. I will screenshot pictures if I'm not with them, and they'll describe him to me. Or sometimes when my bestie comes over, she'll be like, "Ooh, let's look through your Hinge app, girl." I'm like, "All right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's look."
Can you give us an example of how they describe a good choose, like a swipe right and then a swipe left?
Okay, so they will say, "Ooh, girl, he is very handsome. He has very nice eyes, very beautiful smile, nice teeth," because teeth are very important to me. Oh, he has very nice teeth. He looks like he has a very lovely build, maybe a runner's build, perhaps, and it has their height on there, so I already know how tall they are. I do read that, and yeah, that's pretty much like. As descriptive. Oh, they say he dresses very nice. Like they'll describe what he's wearing to me, very nice shirt, or he's got on a nice looking suit, girl. So he'd be like, he knows how to dress. He looks like he knows how to dress. Wears a chain or something. Like they're very, very descriptive.
So what's your type?
Ooh, so okay. So of course I'm gonna say tall, dark, and handsome because that's what everybody says. But my type really is someone who is in shape because I want someone who cares about their physical health and their mental health. I'm in the gym a lot, so I need someone who cares about his health. And I also am in therapy. I think it's very important for us to do therapy. I think it's a very high proponent in my relationships. So I want somebody who cares about his mental health as well. And I want somebody who's emotionally intelligent. So somebody who is going to really honor my feelings and validate what I say, because I will do the same for you. And somebody with a good sense of humor, because I love to laugh. Love to laugh. And somebody who loves music, because I am a music head. Like music is in my blood. I love it. Like I go to concerts. I'm always singing, playing music around the house. I'm gonna need you to know who I'm singing with. I need you to sing with me, jam along with me. And also, I want me a black man too. I need me a brother.
Now, when you talk about your typing, you talk about the physical part of it. I
Yes.
do wonder, like, how do you know what the height is, or how do you know like
Oh.
what a nice tooth looks like? You know what I mean? Like, or even his style. Like, what do you have to gauge it?
Well, again, like I said, a lot of that, like I said, I do rely heavily on my friend, my sister, and my friends to kind of.
You really trust them, because
I
imagine if they were
do.
like, he fine and he not.
No, they know better.
And then it's like everybody has these different ideas of what fine is.
And that is true, and they do. But I really trust my sister and my best friend. Like, you know, we have a bond. We're very much connected, right? And with height, of course, I can just stand next to them, tell they tall or short or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And well, you know, see, that's the thing about me, right? I can be like the damsel in distress and be like, oh, excuse me, can you assist me? You know, I grab onto that little arm right here. You know, I'm like,
feel if they're working out or not.
Yes. Like, don't shoot nobody with them guns you got on your arm, you know.
So when you meet somebody and it's a swipe right on the dating app, and then you're going on your first date, what kind of dates do you like to go on?
I prefer to actually go out and have a cup of coffee or dinner or something like that. You know, just to get to know them, have a conversation. Of course, it's going to be in a public place. But also for me, the date starts with the conversation before we even get to dinner. It's very important that I do that. Like, I am a firm believer in having a phone call. Texting has its place, of course. You know, we work during the day. Everybody ain't got time to talk all the time. But I have to talk on the phone, have a good conversation, feel the vibes, see what it's like. Because, okay, let's say I do just, you know, we meet on whatever dating app I'm on, and I decide I'm just going to up and go on this first date with you. I don't have the luxury of pretending to go to the bathroom and then jumping in my car and leaving and then blocking you.
Ooh, yeah.
That's
that is
right.
true.
You're there. Like, you got to be there.
I have to be there and call my Uber and then run the risk of him coming out and be like, what are you waiting on? You know what I'm saying? I can't just leave.
Now you'll see him sneaking up on you. So yeah.
Right. So, you know, we got to have a conversation on the phone before I even get to that first date. It's very important for me.
Do you let people know that you're blind before you meet them? And have you ever not? Have you ever been like, I'm just going to see how this plays out?
Oh, absolutely. I will not do that because that's not fair. Like, it's not right. So I do. I have it actually posted on one of the apps on Hinge. You can actually do voice prompts. And one of the prompts is one thing you should know about me. So my voice prompt says that one of the things you should know about me is that I am blind. And I'd be like, yeah, you heard me right. I'm blind. But the funny thing is, when I am having these conversations and I ask them, hey, did you listen to my voice prompt? Or, hey, did you read my profile? Because I've written it too. The answer is usually no.
Because people
Because they don't.
read it.
They look at the pictures. They feel like you're cute, and they just trying to get to it.
They're just trying to get to it. And they're like, oh, no. And when they go back and listen to it, they either say, oh, it's cool, and then we proceed to have a conversation on the phone, or either they'll just unmatch with me and get on about their business, and that is fine too. I just want you to have a choice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, do you date other blind people?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes, I have dated both blind and sighted. My caveat, though, of course, well, dating really any man, you gotta be just as independent as me, but especially if you're blind. Like, I like to go. I'm a traveler, so I'm going to get where I need to go the way I need to get there, which means I'm going to get the Uber or I'm going to get the Lyft, whatever it is, however we're going to get there, I'm going to make sure we get there. But if he's blind, we both got to use Uber. I don't want to always have to be the one taking the lead on how we're going to get places or how we're going to do things. I need him to be on that as well because, you're still the man. I need for you to take the lead. I need for you to, when we go on this date, what are we going to do? I'll give you some input, but I need you to be a leader.
Oh, I know the blind men be on Instagram like, y'all niggas is on here complaining. I'm blind and leading. What? Okay. What you lead? I am leading the blind. Like, what? Niggas is on here complaining.
Which is very accurate because let me tell you, you be out here dating, so you know that the men are not always doing that.
They're not. They're really not. Blind or sighted. They ain't always leading. I mean, I need me an alpha man, Because again, I don't always want to have to make the big decisions. I want to be led and laid.
So what was your very first date ever like?
Oh, my Lord.
And were you nervous?
Honestly, well, honestly, I'm always kind of nervous on a first date. So, oh, girl, you asking me to go back in the archives on my very first date. So, my very first date, I was probably a teenager. So, I was about 16. I was in high school, and we went to the mall, on a little teenage date. He came to my door, rang my doorbell, and asked my mama could he take me out, and she was like, yes. So we went. And the thing is, when I am with someone, of course he's gonna have to be intuitive and be confident in who he is. And even at that young age, he was very confident in himself. So I was really, like I said, I was really nervous, but excited. I did the teenage dating things. So, like I said, I'm back in the archives now, but I do remember being very nervous.
Now, what does it look like when someone wants to kiss you on a date? Or, some of us have sex on the first date. Like,
I can't say I haven't done that.
Because the way that I picture it is like, even if someone does just want to fuck,
yeah,
I feel like he would get some level of like decency or a certain level of respect, because you can't just pounce on someone who can't see.
Right.
Like I might be calling the police.
Right.
What happened? Why is your face on mine?
Right.
Well, no, I mean, really, okay. So as we know, 90% of flirtation and stuff is nonverbal. So of course, I'm not getting that feedback, but I do read vibes. And being on a date is really all about feeling the vibes. Are you having a good time? Are you enjoying the conversation? Is the food good? The drinks flowing? All of that, right? So then, it just kind of one thing kind of really does lead to another. I really haven't had it where somebody just kind of pounces on me. Like I can feel when they're leaning in, for the kiss or whatever. So I just kind of meet them where they are. Or, we might be sitting together on a couch or wherever, and all of a sudden, it slides a little closer, arm goes around you. And by then, you're already in each other's personal space, so you know what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? So it is very natural. But the thing about it, a lot of times, though, I feel like men can be a little bit intimidated when it comes to dating someone who is a little different, somebody who might be blind or have a disability in general, because it's seen as deviant behavior. It's almost like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be doing this. And it's like, why shouldn't you?
Like I shouldn't be requesting head from this blind
right.
woman.
I should not ask her.
I shouldn't ask her to lick my butthole.
Right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do these kinds of things and ask her these. But we're human. You know what I mean? We have feelings, we have wants, we have desires, we have all of that. So why shouldn't you? If you're on this date with me, then why should you not? But people really do have those kinds of preconceived notions, because of course you don't know what you don't know.
Right. Do you find that your other senses are more heightened?
I would say so. I have to be more aware of my surroundings. So I really rely on my ears. They do double time. So I'm always listening for things. And, I use, when I'm walking down a hall or something like that, I can hear the openings that let me know that there's a door there. Or, I think I'm supposed to turn left here because I hear the opening. So I'm going to turn left. So yeah, I use a lot of audible cues to let me know where I am in space.
And then when you're having sex, let's talk about like the dirty talk. Do you do that a lot? And do you like when whoever you're having sex with is saying a lot of things to you?
Oh, I do.
What kind of stuff you like, girl?
I like a nasty nigga. I like when he talks crazy to me. I love it. Like I love a man who talks filthy in the bed. I love it. Just feels so great. And and sometimes I get with it too. And yes, when it comes to sex, like I told you, I'm very, very sensual. So I'm not like one of those ones who's just like, let's just get to it. I love the foreplay of it all, I love the touches. I love the kisses. I love the kissing me on the, in between my thighs and all that good stuff. That stuff feels real, real, real good to me. It gets me there. It gets me ready to go. So that by the time you're ready to go on in there, I'm ready for you. And then you get talking nasty, and nasty things can occur.
Do you like using toys at all? Like sex toys?
No, not
No?
really. I am more of the real deal. I like the real man. I have tried toys before,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know. Maybe I'm just too much of a realist. I have no idea.
But like when you masturbate, would you use a toy or would you just use your hands?
I mean, I do use a toy then. But I think for me, like I said, I'm just kind of like, oh, I just want the real thing. This makes me frustrated. Like, I need a real one. I need the real one.
You know how in the Ray Charles movie where he would feel for his woman's wrist to make sure they weren't big?
Yes.
Do you have a thing that you feel for?
Not really, no. That's just, yeah. Like, I mean, we're all individuals. That's what Ray did. And, you know, he's a guy. I guess he does, you know, it's superficial. So that's really not me. Like, I don't feel faces. Nobody really feels faces like that. You know what I'm saying?
They just be making it look like they're on the movies.
Yes, that's just what they do on the movies. That's just weird. It is. It's very, very strange. So I definitely do not do that. Now I do, you know, sort of, you know, if I'm sitting there, I need to know what you're working with. So I will, you know, take a look at that, see what's going on. You know, there's
slide
a
a
print
little
there,
hand
slide a
over.
little hand there, you know, check out your little imprint and everything. But for the most part, I'm not really trying to feel wrists and faces and things like that, you know.
Have you ever had like a dating experience that you felt a little bit uncomfortable? Because safety is a big deal for anybody, especially if you're meeting people on dating apps.
Right.
If you're meeting up with strangers off of Instagram, like for just the basics of dating is you should try to be as safe as you can.
Absolutely.
And so what are some of those measures that you have to take for safety?
Again, for me, that initial conversation, we'll call it the introductory call. We can call it that. But also I take, you know, my best friend will come with me if possible. Like, I will try to arrange the date so that she will be dropping me off so that she can get a good look at who this person is, get the license tag number. She gets everything she needs to get. She will take pictures.
Right. And does she wait there? Like, does she just be like, I'm gonna be at the bar having a drink?
Sometimes she'll be at the bar having a drink. Sometimes she'll go, like, you know, I'll make sure it's in a shopping center so she can go to a store or something like that. Like, I'm not going on a first date completely alone. If I'm with my sister and my brother-in-law, then if I'm at their house, I will have him come pick me up from their house. Because what you're not going to do is come to my house. Because I do live alone. So you're not coming to my house to pick me up on our first date. That's not happening. But I will have them come to their house and he can get a good look at the date and my sister can too. And again, pictures, license plate, all the things. So I am very, 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 very conscious of safety. It's really important to me because, again, I don't have that luxury of just being able to pretend to go to the bathroom. So I have to be as careful as possible when it comes to dating. And that's why a lot of the times, for me, it doesn't turn into a first date. I'm not super pressed for things to turn into a first date, especially from a dating app.
So, like the conversations that you're having on the introductory call, what are things that stick out to you as good qualities that make you want to proceed with a first date?
Well, if I'm noticing that our conversation is just flowing like water, I'm like, yes, we're laughing, we're having a good time talking. He asked me questions about being blind because it's a part of who I am. So if he is really interested, he's going to ask me some questions because, I mean, a lot of times, like I said, I'm the first blind person that somebody's ever met. I welcome questions. So if you're really wanting to get to know me, you're asking me questions, I'm willing to tell you all you need to know. And I also listen, you know, to see if he is thoughtful as well. So I really pay attention to how the conversation is flowing. That's how I know. If we're just sitting there listening to each other breathe on the phone, I'm like, okay, why are we even going to waste our time in person? Because the art of conversation is so important to me.
Do you feel like because some of your senses are more heightened that you have a deeper connection when you do, I don't know, even if it's beyond a date, like someone becomes your significant other, like do you connect on a deeper level because you don't really have those things to some of us can get blinded by certain things.
Oh no, we can definitely be blinded, no pun intended, by things as well. Trust me. I mean, that does happen. We can be blinded by things. We make excuses for people for bad behavior. That's happened. I mean, I was engaged before and I called it off because I was blinded at the time. And, you know, when I did get engaged, there were some things that I realized that I'm like, this really is not going to work for me. And there were some things that we both had to work on. But I made the decision to go ahead and just call it off. And people don't always do that because the train is already on the tracks and, you know, we already got invitations and stuff sent out and all of that. But I had to do that because, you know, I can do this now or we can end up in divorce court. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now. But I'm grateful that I did because the hard part is actually doing a thing that you know you need to do, right? Yeah. That's the hard part. But once I did it and I really focused on my healing and I got on the other side of that, I feel so much freer. I feel so liberated and I started to flourish afterwards. So yeah, that was a long way of saying that, yes, I have been blinded by things.
What are some of the things that you've been blinded by, whether it be the fiance or just other situations and relationships?
Okay, so I'm the type of person that really pays attention to how you talk to me. So using a very aggressive tone or, you know, I can be sarcastic as well, but being like extra super sarcastic or invalidating my feelings, those are things that are no-nos for me. And when it you know, if you're really in love with somebody, you'll notice that it happens, but you're just kind of like, didn't mean it that time. You know what I mean? Or maybe he was just tired. He was going through something. So you make excuse. You know, I would make excuses for things like that, and that has happened several times in relationships. You know, or not even relationships, like getting to know someone, even in friendships. I've noticed I don't like the way people talk to me, or you know, I've noticed that the way they are speaking to me is in a way that I don't like. But I had to learn how to use my own voice and say, "Hey, that's not okay." And when I do that, I have to see how the person responds to me saying that, because if your answer is immediately, but that's just how I am, like, oh, this isn't gonna work. But if you want to, you know, really continue a relationship or a friendship or anything with me, and you stop and you take a pause and you say, oh my goodness, Kamille, I do truly apologize. I didn't intend it to come off that way. Then we can keep it moving. So really being able to validate my feelings, that's definitely something that is important to me. Really being able to say, I see you, I hear you, and receive very well the feedback that I'm giving you.
Now, this is a random question that I was wondering.
Okay.
Do you dream when you sleep? And
I
when
do.
you do dream, what do your dream? Or can you describe what your dreams look like?
They don't look like anything. I'm still Kamille in my dreams. So I can still be sitting here dreaming about being on the CockTales podcast and all of a sudden end up in a swimming pool and don't know how I get there. You know how dreams are, right? You know how dreams are. They're like real wild, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still Kamille in my dreams. And it's because I've never seen before. So because I was born blind, I'm still blind in my dreams. Now, people who have lost their sight later on in life, a lot of them still see in their dreams, and then, you know, they wake up and they're blind, but they do see in their dreams. And they'll tell me, because I've asked this question to people who lost their sight as adults, and they'll be like, you know, I'm dreaming, but I'm seeing in my dream, but I'm using my cane, or I'm holding to somebody, I'm holding on to somebody's elbow. So it's like their dream life and their real life are kind of colliding.
Have you ever imagined what you look like?
Yes, I guess I have. I mean, I can physically feel what I look like, but I have imagined what I have, you know, what I look like. If I pretend to look in the mirror all the time, right? I have conversations with myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And you put lipstick on. I saw you in the mirror.
So you got your outfit on. The boots are very
cute.
cute.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Yes, I do imagine what I look like in a mirror. You know, when I stand in the mirror, I do my affirmations to myself every morning. And so, yeah, I'd be like, girl, you are fine. Like, your curls are popping. Your lip is popping. You look good, girl. And it's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
It is.
Right. I'm confident in who I am.
Do you cook?
You know what? I do cook, but I don't like throw down like Kiki does. Trust. I know how you get down in the kitchen, Kiki.
Yeah, I don't play in there.
You do not play. Listen, I live alone, so somebody got to cook for me, and that somebody has to be me. So I will get in there and I will cook if I need to. It is not something I prefer to do. It's not because I am blind, but it's because I would just prefer somebody else to do that for me. Trust me. It's funny because my sister and my cousin, and we were just talking about that the other day, and a lot of the men in my family are the cooks. Like, yeah, girl, they can throw all the way down. And the women, we're just happy to eat what you cooked.
And it's nice to have somebody else do it for you because it's also like you cook. It takes the time. You hope it turns out good, especially if you're trying something new. And then you got a dirty ass kitchen, and then you got to clean that up. That's a whole nother chore.
I do, yeah, and that's the thing. The cleaning part, it's a lot of work. And if I'm just cooking for me, I'm just gonna make myself a grilled cheese and go to bed. Like,
I do love a grilled cheese now.
Look, I will hook that gourmet grilled cheese up. Do you think I want when I will?
Add a little onion, a little tomato.
Yes.
I like it with the Munster cheese.
I like that cheese
Munster
too.
cheese. Yes.
Now y'all got me wanting a grilled cheese.
I know.
That's a grilled cheese tonight.
Yes. See, and you know what? I need my man. I want my man to be able to cook for me too. So thank you, babe. Dinner.
No, you talked about getting around and using Uber and Lyft.
Yes.
Do you have to use it, like use a certain type? Like, how does that work?
I just use your regular Uber, Lyft. Actually, Uber Comfort. That's what I use.
Oh, no, that's right. You need a little room.
I need some leg room. You know what I'm saying? So I use my Uber Comfort. And again, safety, of course. But I really love Uber. It has been a godsend for me. It's the closest I will ever come to having a car at my beck and call. Because, often I have to depend on everybody to get me everywhere in a certain amount of time. Like, if I want to get somewhere on time, I'm just going to meet you in an Uber. That's fine. Or if somebody's taking too long to get to my house to pick me up or whatever, I'm like, look, I'll just take an Uber there. And it also kind of takes the pressure off of people if they want to hang out. They don't have to worry about coming to pick me up because I'm just like, look, I'll just meet you there in an Uber. And it also shows that, I'm going to get there independently. And the more that I show that I'm independent, the more people are willing to really just offer to take me places. And I don't do it just for people to offer, but people are more willing to help when you're helping yourself.
I mean, because I asked, I was like, do you want me to pick you up?
She did.
I'm like, if you can come to the 6 o'clock slot, I can come pick you up.
She said that. I said, you are so kind, but girl, I am good. I got this.
That is beautiful. It's really inspiring. Like, I know you said you growing up, like everyone was like, your mom was like, you're not different. You were just like everybody else. But it really is inspiring to see you moving. Like, a lot of us make excuses for smaller things than losing sight, and it's just a beautiful thing to sit here and talk to you and hear you so vibrant and look amazing.
Oh, thank you. I do what I can do, girl.
And you did it. Because I was in here crying because I had surgery on my foot, so I have a surgical boot on.
Oh man!
And I was scooting around in a scooter when you got here, and I feel different now because like, girl, shut up, stop complaining because it could be different for you, right? And this could be every day. This is temporary, but
I was crying a few weeks ago, last week, because I was embarrassed on the podcast. You heard it, Kamille, and I was sitting here like, "Bitch, you need to get some strength and just keep going. It is okay."
But the thing is, though, your reality is your reality at that moment, right? So having never you haven't had to deal with being in a surgical boot. So there are things that are frustrating. Like you're now having to realize, where are the elevators up in here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where is the ramp?
Where's the
Why
ramp?
y'all don't have a ramp?
Now you're ready to write a letter.
I am. I'm trying to cook and that's challenging. My foot is hurting and then got stuff on the stove. I gotta pee. Y'all ordered some Depends because I was like, I'm not getting to the bathroom quick enough. What if I have an accident?
You gotta do what you gotta do for yourself in that moment. But it also helps you develop empathy because it is temporary for you, but you do also realize now that this is people's everyday.
Yeah.
So it makes you become more of an advocate, more of an ally for somebody else this is their everyday. A lot of people who go blind later on in life, they say that they're like, listen, I never met anybody who was blind until I went blind. And now I've got to figure out how to navigate the world as a blind person.
Yeah, it's a big adjustment.
Yeah, it's a huge adjustment. And I'm like, hi, here I am. I am me.
I have another question. So my
Okay.
grandfather went blind a few years ago. He lost his vision
Yeah.
after an eye surgery. So then they moved,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a big issue for him. And he
Mhm.
was very upset. And we
Mhm.
were having a talk about it. He was like, I think that what nobody is thinking about is I've lived in this house my whole life, and now we're
Mhm.
moving somewhere else. That house, I knew it like the back of my hand. This is a whole new place that I'm having to learn. I have other issues. When it comes to moving or like changes in your environment,
Mhm.
do you prefer to keep things the same, or are you really open to change?
In my environment, I prefer to keep everything the same. Like everybody knows when they come in my house, put everything back exactly where you found it. Because even moving something an inch away from where it usually is, it's lost because I can't see it.
Yeah.
So that's a hard and fast rule in my house. I don't have that many rules. And you can come in, take your shoes off, get you something to drink or whatever you want, but do not misplace something. Don't put it out of place. And do not leave an open cup with a drink on my counter, because if I knock it over, you're sleeping outside. So it is really important. And even when I move to a new place, again, because I've been blind my whole life. So it's an adjustment, but I can get used to it quickly. Like for somebody like your grandfather who's been blind only for a few years, he's still in his adjustment phase. So moving from somewhere that he's known his whole life, even getting to know it as somebody who's blind, and then having to switch to a different environment, that is hard. It's really tough. It can be really frustrating. And I also remember hearing you saying, I don't know if you've done it or not already, but I remember you were saying that you were celebrating your grandfather's birthday. And
It hasn't happened yet. It's coming.
Okay, it's coming. And you're trying to figure out what to do, because you're talking about how you can go through the photos and things, but it's photos.
Yeah. And so my idea was to interview different family members and friends and people in his life and have them share the memories that they have, or favorite memories and different things. And I'm recording this in video, so like we can see it, but we can hear those stories and he can hear it. And then also live music. He really likes music. He used to be a band director.
Oh, yes. And that's the crazy thing, is that's exactly what I was going to suggest.
Oh, good. Got the stamp of approval.
Yes, I said, have I got a suggestion for her? And you went on ahead and thought about it.
Yeah, the stories. And it's been hard to get them, because I'm like, y'all got to speak up, because the audio is everything.
Yes, audio is very important for us.
Speaking of audio being important, do you like listen to movies? Well, you still watch a movie, but obviously listen.
Oh, yes, I watch movies, and I do speak in the cited vernacular. We all do, because it's kind of weird to say, hey, did you listen to The Voice last night? Like, yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
But yes, I do watch movies. The funny thing is, so I told you my sister and I are super, super close, and my mom as well. So there is nowadays something called audio description. And what it is a track that is overlaid in the movie that provides description for the sections where there is no dialogue. So to describe what's going on. So for example, we're sitting here and it'll say, Kamille is sitting in a chair. She's got curly hair with big hoop earrings on, da da da. And like for those movies where there's nothing but action, crash, boom, bang, it's like the car flips 3 times over the guardrail. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very descriptive. Netflix has it. Hulu
Do they
has
have it for porn?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know the answer to. But
now you got a homework assignment.
I know, right? They all have audio descriptive porn. But before then, I was very blessed to have my mom and my sister who would naturally just describe what was going on a TV show or a movie for me. Like we would be watching something and they'd be like, oh, she's pouring a glass of water, or so-and-so standing in the hallway. Like, those parts where, like on a show where they're giving up all the good secrets and somebody's in the hallway and they don't know and they've heard it. I don't know that. So, yeah, so they're telling me all of that. So they were my audio description before Netflix thought of doing audio description.
They were the originators.
They were the original audio description.
Well, ask them if they'll audio descript some porn.
Oh my God.
Your mama gonna be like,
now, wait a minute.
Okay, Camille.
I'm not about to ask.
Where did you take Camille? You took her to what podcast and they was telling her to do what?
I know, right? Like, wait a minute, what?
Absolutely. This has just been amazing. We're going to move on to Indecisive Diane. Kiki, if you don't have any more questions. And when we come back from Indecisive Diane, we will read some advice and Kamille will help us help you.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
All right, ladies and gents, listen up. December 9th through December 14th. The ladies, Kiki and Medinah Monroe, will be taking over Negril, Jamaica. Hedonism! So you wanted to have a threesome? You wanted to go to a play party? You wanted to do it all in Jamaica? You want to play Stella Got a Groove back? Join us now. Go to theworstbehaviortour.com and book your stay now. Get your rocks off before Christmas. Bye.
Okay, you guys, and we are back from Indecisive Diane, and it is time for the advice. If you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the show, make sure you email us advice@cocktailspod.com.
Okay, so this one is titled Good Dick with a Hairy Cooch.
Ooh, oh my.
Hey, ladies, I'll get right to it. Okay, I matched with a guy on Facebook dating. We exchanged Instagram handles and have been talking there for 4 months or so. He's never blatantly asked me on a date, but I wanted to finally meet him in person, so I attended one of his events with one of my friends. I liked what I saw. It made him a lot more relatable, but so did my friend. Oh, she liked what she saw too.
What? Oh, okay. I was like, wait.
We all got confused.
Right?
Like, wait.
I don't understand. She mentioned matching with him as well, which isn't odd because we have to run our potentials past each other as we apparently attract the same type of fellas. I can admit they had great chemistry, so I suggested they date. My friend sent him a follow request that he accepted, and I thought I played matchmaker, so I instantly friend-zoned him after that. Well, nothing happened, and every question she asked, he referred her to me. He thought she was truly interested in his charity event. A few months passed, and we chatted as usual. He's invited me over a few times prior to meeting, but I never went. And this is too much friend crossover. Like, I'm already like, ooh.
I don't like it.
I know. I'm getting super confused, like with the switching back and forth. I'm like, the friend did who?
Yeah, I'm like trying to reread it because I'm lost.
Me too. I'm like, girl, I can't give you advice because I don't know what you're saying.
One day, I was out with friends and extremely close to his house, so I decided to make today my day. In my mind, he was my bro because although meeting on a dating app, our conversations were chummy. And for whatever reason, I wonder if this is an American person.
Because chummy sounds
chummy.
British.
Doesn't it? Our conversations are chummy.
It's very chummy.
And for whatever reason, I didn't think he's seen me in a way other than a friend. With that said, I went to his house to hang out and I learned very quickly he wasn't bro.
Okay.
He answered the door to his penthouse in a Hugh Hefner robe, looking delicious, and offered me a drink. I was already tipsy, so we proceeded to watch a movie he was in the middle of, chatted, and listened to music. The tables turned when he put my legs on his lap and proceeded to rub my legs and my feet.
I like when they be rubbing on my feet.
Me too. I then knew bro was ready for ho-ho. I had been out all day, so I asked to take a shower to freshen up. I got it together in his amazing shower, but had nothing to put on, so I came out with my skirt as a dress. He instructed me to take it off and made passionate love to me. He kissed me all over, and as he was headed downtown, I told him I wasn't waxed. He said it was okay and played B-box on my coochie like his name was Biz Marquis.
Ooh, okay.
It had been a while since I had passionate sex, so that night was everything. I slept like a baby. We both did. The next morning, I felt his morning wood, so I got up to pee so I could get that good morning good.
Okay.
I failed to mention I had on a wig that I revamped, and in my shower the night before, it got wet. When I looked in his mirror, that wig looked like I was wearing a raccoon. I washed all of my makeup off and looked a complete mess. I got it together as much as I could, but was extremely self-conscious. I even told him I felt like Cinderella after the stroke of midnight. We proceeded to have sex. But I was so dry because all I could think of was my hairy coochie. I told myself to get out of my head, but it wasn't working. We fucked again, but it was nothing like the night before. He didn't even come.
Dang.
I didn't even want to be, and I didn't want to be even more embarrassed. So I got as cute as I could, brushing out my mop of a wig, cleaned up the shaded hair,
Maybe she meant shedded hair. Like, you know, when you comb it and it's hair over.
Cleaned up the shedded hair, put my shades on hightailed it out of there. Fast forward to now, 2 weeks later, we talk as though we never had sex. And it feels like I'm talking to my bro again.
Damn.
I'm waxing ready to hop on that big dick, suck a little balls. I even have some lingerie in the car just in case I'm caught off guard. Again, how can I get his attention again? Did I blow my chances with my dry and hairy coochie? I need advice because I downplay how much I really like him, and I'm ready now.
Girl. Good gracious.
What you think, Kamille?
She just said a whole lot. But I think she was, honestly, it was probably dry because she was in her head. Like, you were thinking too much about it. He didn't care about it that night before. So, and he was ready to go the next morning. But she went in there and looked at herself and looked in the mirror, saw that she looked like a raccoon, or so she says. And then washed up all her makeup. So she's sitting here thinking about everything that's wrong with her. And it showed up in the bed. So I think you were just in your head a little too much, sis. Like, enjoy.
And then I wonder what was under the wig, because why you didn't just snatch it off?
Right. Like, ooh, that's
because I have done that before. That wig was looking like a badger or something. I don't know, a little dog, or that thing off of Martin's episode.
The
that
rat
little
puppy thing?
Yes, it was looking like that. And I was just like, I'm just going to take this shit off and I'm going to have my Meek Mill braids, and that's just going to be better because this is looking like Scarecrow Joe.
But he didn't care. Even the night, she said it was wet the night before and all the things. So I think that she really just got in her head too much. So maybe she's going to have to show up and with the lingerie in hand and just, show.
But then I'm wondering about the friend too. Whatever happened? I guess
that
was
they're
just
clearly
over.
okay with it. She said that they met, they swiped on the same dude, but they both went to his event, and she felt like they had more chemistry.
Okay, good for some of that up, because that part I was kind of confused.
Yes, but then she told her to go on the date with him. He went on the date with her, and he was like, "Oh no, I just want to tell you about my event." He liked the other girl more, so he, they redid it, and she maybe fucked it up. I get the embarrassment when it comes to like a sex embarrassment, and so I don't know if I would be able to even get the courage to try to get it back. But if I was going to, I would bring it up. I would just bring it up. It was an embarrassing thing that happened, and just tell him literally what you told us, because that's the only way I can get over embarrassment, is by kind of just being like, I know this happened. I'm really embarrassed about it, and this is why I didn't get wet, but this is what happened, and this is why. Like, and then maybe y'all can laugh about it, and he might be like, "Oh, I just been busy. It's not. I don't mind a little hairy coochie or your little bald head." Like, you maybe like just addressing what happened, because if you don't, you gonna keep being in your head about it.
Yeah, and you want to do it again. So
I remember one time I had sex with this guy, and I had gotten drunk on the date. After the date, and we're at his house, and we were going to have sex, but I had on like a lot of undergarments. I had on like a waist trainer, like a corset, like some shit he was gonna have to
peel off.
We were wrestling, trying to get the stuff off. It was like really tight. And the next, and I wasn't even thinking about it in the moment, and he was really tired once he finally got everything down and off. So in the morning, I was like, I think I told this story before, but in the morning, I'm looking at all of the undergarments, and he's put them on like a Chase lounge in his room. And I'm like, oh my God. Then I was like, how the fuck did he get me out of this? And it was supposed to be as like a chastity belt, because I knew it was going to be tough, but he got that shit out. And so then later I was so embarrassed, and I was like, I'll probably never see him again. Because I know he was like, why the fuck did she have all this stuff on? You know what he did? He sent me a video on Instagram, like a funny video. And it was like when you go to have sex with this girl and she has one of them bulletproof vests on. And so the girl was trying to take off her waist trainer, and we just laughed about it. And he was like, you don't have to wear all of that. Like, it's fine.
Okay. Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, he'll probably just be like, whatever. I think it'll be okay. I would be too embarrassed to address it myself.
Yeah,
I would just call it take a L. But good luck to you. And if you do end up saying something to him, will you write us another email and give us a cocktail update and tell us how good it was the second time around?
I can't wait to hear it.
Me either. Okay, so it's just one advice, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the cocktails.
But if you ain't got a buck, I won't cuff 'em. Spend $100 on me, it ain't nothing. Want a double D, so
If you guys have a cocktail that you would like to share on the show, make sure you email it to us, cocktails@cocktailspod.com. Now, Kamille, do you have a cocktail, or do you need us to read one first and then you go? You got one ready?
Actually,
okay, well, we want to hear it.
So, I have a cocktail. I actually had sex on the beach, and it was not the drink. And so I was in Miami with my sister and all of our homegirls. We were celebrating her birthday, and I met this really cute guy. They say vacation Kamille apparently is very different from at home Kamille.
Do you drink?
I do.
Okay.
So yes, I had me a couple of cocktails, and I had a bikini on. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking all good. The titties is titty, and I'm having a good time.
I'm on vacation.
Yes, I'm on vacation, and it was like guys were just coming up to them asking about me, which happens a lot. But there's one guy that I met, and he was like a local guy. So he hung out with us all day, and we were in the ocean together, just flirting, having a good time. And I already knew what was going to go down. And so he told me, he was like, I want to hang out with you tonight. I want to take you to the beach. And I said, all right, bet, let's do this. So I go up and I get ready, and my sister and all the homegirls are up there, and they escort me down after I get ready. It's like, I'm going to the prom, y'all. And again, being safe, they were just like, make sure you text me every hour.
I know they'd be worried and stressed. I know
I
I would be.
But they're a little protective, of course, but that's only to be expected. But it's not like in an overbearing kind of way. But it was kind of like, nigga, you don't bring her back in a timely fashion, we will kill you.
We both from here.
So anyway, so he's down there waiting for me, and he takes me, we go to this little secluded area on the beach, and I did text him my location. And he had like a really nice blanket and everything. So we lay it out, we sit and we chat for a little while. And it was, I was a little nervous because it was outside, and I've never really been on a beach like that before. But he took his time with me. Like, he made sure that I was nice and comfortable. And like I told you, the foreplay was absolutely amazing. I'm thinking about it now, like, where is he at? But it was really, truly just amazing. And he made sure that I felt safe. He had a very nice size. His dick was a very lovely size, and it fit oh so well. But it was just really beautiful. I mean, we only had sex that one time. It was like my one night stand that I had, but it was so beautiful, and I really, really, really enjoyed myself. But you want to know something funny? So like literally, we're out there, right, and we're getting it in. And literally in mid-stroke, he's like, did you text your sister? I'm like, sir, of course I didn't text my sister. Not right now, but I will when you're done. Like, he was like, I don't want her to come kill me, so you better let her know that you're all right. But that was my fun sex on the beach story. It was a lot of fun. And everybody's like, Kamille, now you're about the only one that got something this. It's like 6 of us. They're like, you're about the only one that got something this weekend. I was like, well, I got the juice. What can I say?
It's really funny because you have like an advantage with your one night stands because nobody can rush you out. It's like you can't just be like, all right, it's time for you to go. You have to be like, oh, actually,
gotta call my Uber.
I'm gonna call my Uber and get on up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
They gotta take their time.
Or you're gonna take me home, one of the two. Take me back to the hotel, whichever one it is.
Well, thank you so much. That was a really good cocktail.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so Kamille, let everybody know where they can find you, the Facebook, the Instagram.
If you want
what
to
you
be
got
found.
going on. Yeah.
Oh, so what do I have going? So the Instagram, you can find me at Kamille Aaliyah. So it's Kamille with a K, and my middle name, Aaliyah, Alia. That's how you can find me on Instagram. And so you will catch all the Facebook/Instagram posts on there. I am also a motivational speaker. Yes, I do. I do a lot of speaking engagements. So you'll have all of that linked in that Instagram, let you know where I'm going to be speaking at. Because again, a lot of times I share the story of my life. I'm all about inclusion. That's what I'm a business owner. So my company focuses on workforce wellness and inclusion, whether it's inclusion in hiring or inclusion in marketing and advertising. It's all about being able to know that representation really does matter, no matter what facet. And we talk about gender and race a lot, but disability gets left out of conversation. So that's why I do what I do, to make sure that disability is not left out of the conversation.
And we couldn't be more aligned, because that's literally why we Kiki and talk about booty holes and all that on the show. It's like We do want to incorporate that into the discussion because everyone is licking on booty holes and sucking little dick, whether you can see it or not. And it's like, we do here at CockTales, we want to hear the experience.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes people think that some people have no sex, no sexual life, and they're not sexual beings, and that is absolutely not true.
I'm here to tell you that is absolutely not true. And Kiki, I am with you, girl. I do not do anal. Ain't nothing going here. It's exit only. Okay? It ain't nothing changing my mind.
Kamille, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it. Hopefully we can make it to one of your events where you're speaking. I would love to hear it.
Absolutely.
And anybody else who's listening to the show, if you know somebody who you think would be a great representative of a certain group, then let us know. It might work out. It might not, but it might.
It might. We would love to hear more stories from all of you guys out there because everybody has such interesting lives. Make sure if you do reach out that you email us. The email address is in the description box below, along with all the links for our sponsors and everything else we have going on. Make sure you're also following us on Instagram. We're at CockTales Podcast, and I'm at Kiki Said So.
I'm at Coffee Bean Bean.
And until next week, you guys, goodbye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Population. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.